Hello everybody, Keyox is back again, this time for a PvZ. This build is very obscure and very different to normal builds such as Forge Fast Expand and 3-Gate Sentry Expand. In this build, it relies around early pressure doing enough damage to transition it into either a win or a very strong second push. You're going to set up your pylon for the one base kind of build instead of down here for like a Forge Fast Expand. And moving right along, you're going to get your gate at 13 like usual, using your chrono booster on probes when you want to, and get your gas down at 14. Now, first obscurity. This is a forge, not a cybercore. Now, what are you doing with this forge, you may ask? You might, some people get freak out and make way too many lings, and it's actually you can actually do damage just by making this forge. So, we're going to do forge instead of cybercore. That was our first obscurity. Continuing right along, we're going to get a zealot out nice and fast. It's very important. Save chrono for your zealots. Not a lot of chrono, but enough so you can put a lot of chrono boost on it. And you're going to want to keep making zealots. Now, you may have noticed we stopped mining gas at 100. Why? To get our +1. Another weird part. Take all probes off gas at 100. Get +1 attack. Whoopsie. +1 attack. Pretty fun, right? Very, very, very fast +1 with very efficient probes. We're already at 20 probes, he's at 17, so we're really far ahead in economy too. We're also going to be taking our expo rather soon. Notice we have constant zealot production and constant probe production. You're not going to tech until you throw down your expo, and you're always going to have constant probes. Without constant probes, you're going to fall behind significantly, so make sure to never stop this. There you go. Never stop it. So, you're going to get up your 5th zealot while taking your expo. So, while 5th zealot is building, make expo. You're going to get this 5th zealot out and push out immediately. Your +1 will be finishing just about the time you get to their base. You're then going to wall off and make a cannon at your natural. Add 2 gates and cannon at natural. Now this push usually does an insane amount of damage. He actually kills my cannon and I lose a lot of minerals. I really mismicroed this. I killed 2 of his queens and then I did something stupid. I split up my zealots, which you should never do. Always keep all your zealots together and focus on them while making probes and everything. Because these have +1, they 2-shot workers and they 2-shot lings. Very, very crucial upgrade. However, I end up dying off. But the damage was, I mean, it was decent. It wasn't amazing, but it was decent. Meanwhile, what was happening back at base? Well, we added on our 2nd gas. We should be putting guys back into, put guys back into gas, and we get more gateways, and we get a cannon out of natural, because it was destroyed. So, take 2nd gas, and add workers into gas when you push. Let's just get some separation here to make it easier to read. So, we should be adding guys back into gas, and then get your cybercore. Oh, pause it. However, this is very crucial. Notice how my cyber core is really late. Normally my cyber core should be part of this Wallen, but there was a mistake in the build, and the guy wanted to do more pressure. So we could either do cyber core after 2 gates, or with 2 gates, or rather, or before the 3rd gate, depending on what you want to do. If you want to put on additional pressure, or you want to put on, or you want to go macro. Now I'm thinking he was going to all in, and so I did the 2 gates before the cyber core. So I had a lot of extra zealots, and basically nothing else. Now actually, if we look at the map right now, that's all he has. He is getting mutas up, but that's all he has. I could just go over there and kill him right now. However, I don't, because I forget that I have such a big army compared to him. Because I have 3 gates that are constantly making zealots. So my cyber core gets up, and I'm adding 2 more gates because I want to make I want to end the game quick. And I'm thinking he's slightly weakened because he made a lot of lings early on, and so I'm thinking this push could end him. So, in this instance, add more gates when you have the money and a council. This council is just kind of self-explanatory if you're going to do multiple gateway push. So I'm just kind of chilling right now, getting up my ball, making it nice and big. I add on more gateways, which is just echoing that add more gateways when you have the money to. Try not to, especially when you have your warp gate up, you don't want to make units as much as you want to make gateways. However, since this is pure gateway, you're going to be wanting to make units out of gateways. When you have a robo or a Stargate or whatever in your build with your buildings, you want constant out of the robo or whatever, and then your secondary is your gateway, or rather, you make gateways with your extra money, not units. It's a very important thing to learn. Very, very important. So I'm getting up my ball. I'm adding on 2 more gases because I think I need to. I'm not going to say when you add your gases, because you add them when you want to. If there's some weird early type of pressure, if I say, well, you're going to want to take your gas around 10 minutes, it won't help you at all. You need to know when you think you will need the gas. Since I see my warp gates about to finish, I know I need my gases up because I'm going to start warping in a lot of units. So, add gases at your natural when you think you need them. Don't worry about what timing it should be. Worry about when you think you'll need them the most. I start getting +2 with my Twilight Council, and I should be and I think, oh yeah, I add on my Templar archives. Add Templar archives after your gases at natural. That is very helpful. Archons are great versus Zerg. The only thing they're not good versus is, I don't know, they're kind of good versus everything Zerg has. So, it's a good unit. Now he does do some muta harass, which is a little unfortunate. I lose quite a bit of probes, and I'm really low on gas, and so I can't warp in stalkers as I want. Good thing is I have an Archon up, so I smash his mutas. Now I'm really low on probes, and so I'm thinking, crap, I'm really far behind, and as you can see, I am. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm reacting to his play, seeing that he wants to go macro mode by adding mutas, meaning he wants to add, he wants to macro up and get a good army while being safe, because he thinks I'm going to have to stay in my base because of the mutas. I react to this, knowing that he's going to try and go macro, and decide to make an all-in. Wait for my gateways to finish on cooldown, and then I add on some of my gateway units. I think I get Archon and some Zealots. There you go. Archon, and should be adding on more Zealots. I add my guys into my gas a little late. No big deal though, because I'm doing an all-in anyway, so. I add on my zealots, make my last Archon, and push. I'm bringing a probe with me so I can make a proxy pylon and go in for the final push. Now you don't have to make this push. This push is completely optional. Let's say I never even lost workers, and I remembered to constantly make probes instead of units. I would have been right ahead with him, and I could have made my third and made it a macro game. I completely could have done that. This push that I'm making right now, it's very big, it's very scary, and it will end up winning the game. However, you don't need to make this push. You could get your third and then add on 2 robos and make a tech switch. And he won't even see it coming because he'll get out so many Colossus so fast he can't get the Spire up in time. So, this is the general premise, is to get a solid amount of gateways. I have 7. Usually it's 6 gateways, but 7 is perfectly fine. It won't kill you too much. Get up a Twilight Council with an early +1 for that early push, which will sometimes even end the game, and get Archons. From there, you decide. So here's the general premise of the build. Let's skip a few spaces. General points. Don't try to do damage. Well, I guess, you can either try... Here's a better way to say it. Either try to do tons of damage, or take no damage at all. If you don't do either one of these things, you're going to be behind. As we saw at the beginning of the game, neither of those happened, and so I was behind. Another important point. You want to react to what they do. Very important point. Very, very important. Why is this important? Because you have 6 gateways up very early with an early +2. You can do anything with that. You have a solid number of gateways for defense. You have +2, which is way ahead of him. If we look at his units, they're 1-1. Now he did catch up with upgrades, which is very surprising. But you're ahead by quite a bit. So you can take your third and go for double robo, which will be very, 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 very strong tech switch with some Archons. It's a beastly army. It's a very strong army. And from there, you just do whatever you want. I mean, I saw he was going mutas. I lost a lot of probes, and so I was like, okay, I need to go win this game right now, otherwise I'm screwed. So I made the push, and I win. So don't think that just because this push is happening right now, don't think that you have to do this push. So as we can see, we just kind of go in, we just kind of kill him, because he thinks that I'm going for a macro game as well, because I took an early an early expo. And so I just kind of go in and win. And there's the build. So, the general points, we either want to do tons of damage or take no damage at all. It's very important with that initial 5 zealot push. If you can do one of these 2 points, then you will be ahead by a huge amount. By this point right here, I mean you want to take a third, fast third, or early push with your 7 gates. Since you're getting a 7 gates with +2 very early, you can do so much with it. It's a very flexible build, and it's fantastic. Just make sure that you don't make this push every game, because you do not have to at all. You can macro up out of your 7 gates and defend everything he has. If he comes in with mutas, warp in some High Templar, make them an Archon, or warp in some Zealots. Stalkers. It's a very flexible build, it's very strong, and it's probably my favorite build in PvZ at the moment. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later.